Miami Heat, 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 Miami Heat. It feels like Miami.
Welcome into the Miami Heat Beat post-game show. I am your host, Alphonse Sidney, a.k.a. Alf954. Thank you guys for joining us. If you're watching live on Twitch, we love you. Send your bits. Make sure you subscribe. Do the thing with the Prime subscription. Sometimes a Nightbot puts it in the chat. It's all that good stuff. If you're watching on YouTube Live, we love you as well. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're watching the replay on either, you're also the best. Make sure you leave a comment. Tell everyone how much you love Alf. And if you are listening to the podcast tomorrow morning or in the middle of the night, bless your hearts, because that's where we make all of our money. Guys, it's been a long time. Can I do it, Frankie?
Do it.
Heat win! Heat win! Heat win! Oh, my God. I feel like I haven't been on for a Heat win. Like, all I just done is rant and rave. And someone says, send your bits. Sounds like dirty British talk. Yes, it does. But yeah, actually, don't send your bits to anybody. Like this, it's 2025. All right, those days are over. But dude, it feels like I've not been on a post game show. I've not hosted a Heat win in a long time. Every time I'm on here, I'm taking a jersey down. I'm crying over Jimmy Butler. Like it's every time I'm on here, it's just pain, heartache, and misery. Anyway, with me today, Franky G, the man in the chair.
Literally, the first notification on the Heat Beat account is amazing how much better Miami shoots when Alf isn't at the game.
Listen, I've only been to like 2 games all year, all right? This ain't my fault. Tell your girlfriend we say hi, Frankie.
Hi, girlfriend. They're saying hi.
Here's what that wave. Hey.
They said your wave got better, babe.
Back there hacking in the financial system. Go ahead, Ilona. Saucy Takes. Coach Lou on the bottom there. What's going on, Saucy Takes?
You know, a Heat win. Shit, I'm pretty down bad. I'm gonna be honest with you guys.
Says you're in shambles.
Yeah,
I figured you were lighting the beam after losses this year.
At this point, I don't want to wake the puppy up. So
it's just when he has electricity.
Yeah, it's just February has 28 days, guys. It's 2 days of savings. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
I hear you. Anyway, guys, most importantly, I think we've all come to find out tonight, watching the game, that Spo watches the Heat Beat postgame show. There's no other way to explain it, because, I mean, I finally got through to him. And fuck Heat Beat. Me, I finally got through to him. Hey, Frankie, when you have a lead, maybe throw out a defensive lineup, okay? They started the fourth quarter with Thank you, Alf. Thank you, Alf. They started the fourth quarter with Bam Adebayo, Andrew Wiggins, Davion Mitchell, Haywood Highsmith.
Oh my God!
Holy shit! Haywood Highsmith sighting a team high 31 points. I thought plus 31, not 31 points, but damn, I mean, he did great. I thought Tiff was going to be on tonight. I was like, this going to be a victory celebration. Team high plus 31, Haywood Highsmith, Davion Mitchell, Andrew Wiggins, Bam Adebayo, and Duncan Robinson for some spacing. That's who they started the fourth quarter with. And Frankie, lo and behold, they didn't blow a fucking lead. I mean, it's magical.
It is. Like, almost every lineup they played today felt optimal. Like, it felt cohesive, and it felt like it made a semblance of sense. Even Kyle coming in ready, like, whoa, they're finally thinking. But like that, the lineups that they played with Duncan, Wiggins, Highsmith, Jaime, or Davion later in the game with Bam, that lineup could defend. You run your offense to Duncan, who greases the wheels. Defensively, you can go zone or man, and you have a lot of good defenders, two-way guys. Wiggins, 10 free throw attempts, a lot of offense created by him. I think he had 6 assists. Yeah, 6 assists. Like, very solid game. Haywood brought so much energy today. The hustle, man. Like, we've been talking about a lot about the lack of hustle stats from the Heat recently, especially since Drew's gone down. Haywood brings that. He's grateful to play. He's happy to play. Brought so much fucking energy, and he contributes on both ends.
Yeah.
Like he scraps, he fights, he gets boards, he cuts the basket, moves the ball. Like Haywood Highsmith, for a guy who barely touches, like dribbles and stuff like that, he has 5 assists today, no turnovers.
No, listen,
just a glue guy.
What he does, Lou, when he's in the game, and we've been talking about this, like we don't understand Coach Bo. We don't know we don't understand the rotations. Like tonight, it made the most sense. I can live without ever seeing Kyle Anderson or Alec Burks play again, but that's a story. Listen. I don't understand. Like, what are we trying to see? What they have to offer? Like, we have like 15 years of NBA experience to know what they have to offer. Anyway, but we've been asking for Haywood Highsmith to play.
Yep.
Like Lou, he like to Franky's point, it's a guy who just brings a bunch of energy out there.
Somebody who just knows how to do the things that nobody else on this team knows how to do, which is grab. Like, he has a nose for the long rebounds. He knows when to slip. He knows how to move without the ball on the baseline. Like, it's not a shocker. We had the second most assists we've had all season today. We had 39 assists. It was only second to that game against the Lakers. That doesn't count because they weren't playing defense. But like 39 assists, a large part of this was because of these rotations, was because Highsmith was back in the game. Like, shocker. I don't know why he wasn't fucking playing to begin with. It's a fucking abomination. He's one of the few guys who's been actually consistently good, yet his leash is shorter than fucking, I don't know, insert Spo. You know what I'm talking about, man. The shortest leash on the team this season.
Man,
going from Kyle. By the way, welcome Kyle to the show. For the podcast listeners, Kyle just popped in. One of the people in the chat say he looks like he's sitting on a deck chair in heaven. Just sky blue background. I don't know. It's a little freaky, but listen, we're happy to have Kyle here.
He's in a hotel.
Yeah.
Kyle looks like he's in an aquarium.
Now I'm back. I'm back home. I'm actually South Florida now, so maybe I need to stay in South Florida and we'll win more games.
On second thought, dude, I'm driving you up to Orlando tomorrow.
I know that Caribbean blue. Yeah, you're definitely in South Florida. Anyway, no, but listen, man. To the point about Haywood, and I want to belabor just talk about Haywood, but he was so impactful today. Mm-hmm. And to Lou's point about the assists, Haywood, along with Duncan Robinson, is a ball mover.
Yep.
And Jovic was doing some of that when he was in there, and we all know who the ball stoppers are. And we're not playing ball stopper number one. He didn't get a minute in this game or last game, which is fantastic. But you have Haywood out there, you have Duncan, you have guys who move the ball, get the ball to, your main guys, but can also score when they have the opportunity. And it was just beautiful to watch tonight, the ball movement, because guys like that were playing.
I think to Lou's point, the energy, right? Like he brought energy. And so I think that's the most important aspect of a team. Whether you want to try to win and you lose, or you're trying to lose and you win, whatever direction this team is going, because we've already talked about direction, and it seems like anywhere but up and down. It's all kinds of direction. However, when you play a guy who's going to give you energy, Haywood's not going to take 20 shots per night. He's not looking to get his own shot unless it's that little short floater, which is like a last ditch, like it's like a little toolbox thing. I have this, but he's not actively looking for a shot. And so for the most part, he's swinging the ball to the open guy, which I think one of the underrated things, we talk about his defense a lot, but we also don't talk about the fact that he's always looking for the next person who's open, which is a big part of his basketball IQ. And so him bringing energy, I felt like Duncan looked like old Duncan, and just movement wise, he looked like he was getting into spots where, I think the last time he looked like this, at least tonight, was 2019, where he shot arguably his best percentage from three. Just finding his spots to get, and then also we talked about this in so many different pods. He's the best passer, in my opinion, still on this team, and so when you have a guy like that who can make shots but is also your best passer, which is funny if you consider it, because he's not the leader in this team from a personnel perspective, but he's a great passer, Duncan is. So when you have two guys who bring energy to the ball, and I think Spo has talked about this in the past. When the ball finds energy, good things happen. And so they just seem like they played with a little more pep than they did a couple of nights ago, where they shot 7
God,
and it just
seeing
felt
that
like
shit live, bro. Oh,
and I don't know if that means I don't know if they felt better coming home, right? Because now, granted, their record at home isn't pretty. However, they played with a lot of sense of urgency. They seemed to want to play. It looked like, dang, we're not playing. They got home, and I guess
desperate.
Right.
Well, yeah, I think that the desperation was something. I think, Franky, if this team really does want to make the playoffs, tonight was a big one. You can't go on a whole game back of the Hawks right now. You can't sink at the 9th place. I'm not saying it's do or die. I know that kills you, Lou. But just continue we talk about Haywood's energy. Duncan was running his ass off tonight. I mean, full on sprints. Like you say, Kyle, I haven't seen this Duncan in a minute. He's always moving, but not like tonight. And then you had Davion Mitchell, who Tiff in the chat called Davion the Blur. Listen, and you know what's funny? The game I went to in Atlanta the other night, Davion didn't look like himself at all. He was getting burnt by Trae Young off the dribble, over and over again, just getting smoked. And it was happening a little bit in the first quarter tonight. I don't know if you guys noticed. I'm like, yo, what is going on? But I swear to you, and I might just be making this up in my head. Once Haywood started playing and Davion felt that energy, and it's not guys like Slow-Mo and Terry and listen, bless his heart, but Alec Burks. It was Haywood out there that I felt Davion perk back up, and all of a sudden, boom, he's brick walling Trae Young again. He's getting loose balls. You were I think Lou talked about the long rebounds, we never get those, and tonight we were all over those, just talking shit. There was a point Davion Mitchell was talking to somebody on the Hawks bench, saying, "You a bitch, you a bitch, you a bitch," and I was "Oh, take the camera off him."
That's heat culture right there.
But I'm just saying, Franky, that attitude, that ferocity, that speed, they haven't been like this in a while, and it was man, compared to Monday night, this was a blessing to watch.
It was just so night and day, just like we talk about heat culture. It's defense, it's scrappiness, it's toughness, and they have felt so soft. They have felt like it's not even just abandoning their identity. It was a lack of identity. They didn't have one on either end that you could really feel they could hang their hats on. And it was I feel like you look at their rotation, you look at the guys who played today. There's only four defenders there that I would call good. And everybody else tries. It's not a bad effort thing, where guys are just constantly getting lost in transition or whatever, even though the transition defense still has a lot of work to do. But the effort was way better today. The scrappiness, not just Haywood, but Haywood really set the tone. That's why we keep going back to him. That's the plus the plus minus is game to game doesn't always tell the story. This really told the story with Haywood and Duncan. But like you said, Davion too. Davion, his confidence. I think he scored 14 points in the third quarter. He started the game 7 for 8 from the field. He was just everywhere. Just his energy was infectious as well. He just felt, like you said, he had Haywood next to him. He's not covering for guys. He could be extra aggressive because if he gets burned, he has guys to clean it up behind him. And shout out to all of that. Everybody really contributed. We went from last game where. Obviously shot making was a huge difference today, but I looked at it. They had 47 potential assists last game. The ball was not moving as much as it did today. They passed their game total for last game in the third quarter today. They moved the ball well, 39 assists, only 14 turnovers. It was just a completely 9-day fix.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Luke.
No, I was going to say, even the turnovers, I don't care. I
never care about turnovers.
I don't care. I'd rather them. I think there has to be a stat when the Heat average 15 turnovers. They got to win fucking more basketball games.
Yeah, because it shows the ball is moving.
Yeah, but to Franky's point, I thought the most interesting thing with Davion Mitchell was he didn't sit the second half.
Right.
Not a single minute. All 24 of them bitches.
All these young guys can play big minutes. Bam Adebayo can play an entire fourth quarter.
Bam played
Well, fuck
almost
me
all,
sideways.
all
I thought it
12
was
minutes.
impossible.
Highsmith all 12 minutes. Duncan all 12 minutes in the fourth quarter. The only person who came up, with less minutes obviously was Wiggins. He started the quarter and then Tyler came in for him and they ran with that 5. But like it's a true it's a blessing to see Bam start a fourth quarter. I feel like Bam hasn't started a fourth quarter all fucking season.
Screwed Bam out of his double-double. That was rough.
And I think the
got it on Friday.
I think the funny thing is they mentioned that the Heat have played the least amount of home games over the last month. Like they just have not played at home. Which I mean, if we go back from 5 years forward, this has been the same. I mean, it's the same thing with scheduling with the Heat. They play them on back-to-backs and they play them the least amount at home. So like it's just I don't know what it is with that, but you can't get any continuity at home if you don't play at home.
There's always that March burst from the Heat,
yes.
And it's always after that road trip, after the boat show, and after the All-Star break, and it feels like
I hate the boat show. Pack the boat show up. I'm so sick of it. I worked off a freaking Los Angeles. I hated that thing.
You want to know what made me feel bad? Last game, I don't know. It just triggered this memory in my brain, right? So I remember when the Heat were 11-30 and they had lost like fucking 17 fucking games. And Spoelstra comes out after a loss and he goes, "Oh man, like a maniac. I really like the way this is going. We're turning a leaf." And everybody's like, "Dude, what the fuck are you?" And they rattled off 13 straight, Alf.
Yeah.
After last game, the Heat is so bad, and this motherfucker goes to the podium and said the same shit. And I'm like, fuck.
Oh shit! Are they about to go 13-0 Caro?
Just lose these games, bro. Like I'm so down bad in this basement watching Spo just be like, "We had them." Like we scored 86 points. Shit, he's on to something. I was upset because I know it's kind of true and he really believes it. He tried everything today. He went zone, no Terry.
No, I did.
For 2 minutes. Then he took him back out. He threw Burks for 2 minutes. He said, "Fuck you too." He threw Jaime in the first half. He said, "Why are you here?" Like he tried everything.
No, he did. He tried everything he could not to play Haywood Highsmith. That was killing me. I was like, bro, can we stop?
This shit is the most frustrating day in.
But you know what's funny? Like, guys, when they brought in Haywood and Duncan, well, they brought in Duncan, then they brought in Haywood. When they brought in Haywood, they went immediately to that zone. Because they trusted, and then you had Wiggins at the top of the zone, which I liked. I was like, "Oh, that's interesting."
Which I like a lot.
I mean, because that length and athleticism. Nothing was getting past him. Like I was like, "Oh, that's a nice new wrinkle." And like the thing is, like, everyone's like, "Oh, Spo's tinkering." Kyle, I don't mind Spo tinkering, but tinker with shit that makes sense.
I've been begging. Have I not been pleading for him to be creative? Like. Just try things. Just try things. Like the biggest thing, and I think this is probably like Franky often uses that there's a disconnection sometimes between front office and Spo, but sometimes I think this season Spo has had a disconnection between roster expectations and his expectations, and I think this has to do with the fact that he's a coach's coach. He loves his guys. He doesn't want them to lose. He's going to coach as hard as possible. He's going to try to put them in the best positions to win games as much as he can. And so he's coaching this team like we still have LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, and those guys are not here. And so the thing with less expectations is you can play these guys and they're going to play with some liberty. They're going to play freely. So without doing that, like you're applying pressure. I mean, we talked about this. I think I've mentioned it before. There are 8 guys under the age of 25 on this team, which is nuts. I don't think we've had that many young guys in years. So with that many guys, there's no reason for them to be on minutes restrictions. None of them are Kawhi Leonard. Play them. Like, just tinker around, see what you get. If you win the game, cool. Just make it close. Don't, like last night was abysmal, but the other night was abysmal, but I just feel like the energy just wasn't there. But you have guys on the bench. I think Lou talked about it the other night. Pella should not be leading the team in claps. Like, dude, this is insane. Like, just play the guys, man. Enjoy the season. You're not winning a championship this year.
Whoa. Did you not see them tonight?
Take them out.
No, I will say this, guys. talk about playing young guys and like listen, it feels like we've moved on from Terry. Thank you, Spo. Thank God.
Goodness.
Okay, like it took long enough. I mean,
Yep.
for God's sake. But at this point, right now, where you are, whether you win or lose these games, and this is what I was saying before, I never need to see Kyle Anderson or Alec Burks again. Like
I don't dislike Kyle.
I don't dislike him either, but I know what he is. And what we saw when this team plays with speed and aggression, a guy like Slow-Mo ain't it. Okay? Like
His name is Slow.
his name is Slow-Mo. And then Alec Burks. I like Alec Burks. But Alec Burks is the kind of guy, like, I mean, you play when you have a lot of injuries or on a team full of vets, he gives you 12 minutes off the bench a game. Like on a team like this, who's not really going anywhere, that's trying to find out what they have in young guys, like play Jaime. I don't care how bad he is. I'd rather see Jaime. Play Pella.
Which he had good reads tonight, by the way.
Who?
Jaime did. For the short
thought
time
Jaime
he was out there.
I didn't think Jaime played bad at all. Like I don't even know why he didn't get back in the game. But I mean, also, I do know because Haywood was playing so well and Duncan was playing so well. And I don't know how deep in the bench you really want to go with this team. But to me, when it's like, Frankie, I don't know if you agree. I just don't see the benefit of guys like Alec Burks and Kyle Anderson, or even like if Kevin Love gets healthy again. Like, let's just win or lose. The oldest guy I think on this team that should get any minutes is Duncan Robinson. After that, like what is Duncan, like 31?
I think 31, yeah.
But he runs around like he's 22, right?
I mean, he's only been playing for like 5 years. He's
Yeah, outside of Duncan, I don't want to see anybody. Like that's the oldest player that should be playing on this team.
Yeah, and like Duncan and Haywood are guys that even though they're vets, like they accentuate their teammates. They help their teammates on both ends. Haywood especially, but Duncan like has always been the answer for when the Heat's offense can't do fucking anything. Play Duncan some more, even if he's not hitting shots. He moves, he brings attention, he collapses the defense on or off the ball, and he makes things easy for him. Like I get Burks when Duncan is really off or injured or foul trouble or Tyler as well, but like like you said, like him, Slow-Mo, like. There's no reason to play those guys. They don't bring enough to the table. I'd rather just give more minutes to the younger guys. Like me and Lou were talking about it. They really wanted this game as soon as they went to zone. Yeah, like we could tell because they haven't played zone in a while, especially with Ware in. They've been trying to let Ware get his lumps in defensively and make his adjustments. And they were like, "We need this game. This is too much of an important game. Let's zone up. Fuck it." And it helped them. It really helped them. And you know, I'm for it. If the young guys are winning these games, I'm for it. But like, I don't. If fucking Alec Burks has a 10 for 15 3-point shooting game. Like, what's the point of that? It doesn't change their future. He's gone after this season in all likelihood anyways. So, like, just go with the guys you've already been invested in. Like, I'd rather see that because even if you make the playoffs, like, if you do it, those guys are the guys that should be playing and getting that experience anyways. So play them now.
And Alec Burks ain't getting to the playoffs.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
And if they do, it wasn't worth getting there.
Exactly.
Exactly. Thank you. That's
like,
exactly what we're saying.
I mean,
somebody
think
said we're still lost.
He does. He is lost sometimes. But
well, you know what?
He's gonna get that with reps, Kyle. Like he needs the reps.
He needs to play. I'd rather them play strict man and let him take his lumps now than when we're actually trying to win basketball games and he's still trying to figure it out. Like all the zone shit is cool to help you win basketball games in the short term, but I don't think it's good for his development long term unless he's only going to be a strict zone center, and that
I doubt
that doesn't work anymore.
With this, I mean, Lou, with his athleticism, you don't want him to be that. You would like for him to be able to deal with his matchup properly. Now, granted, this is year one. I think there
this
are
was expected,
things,
at least from my point of view. Like
I
his
think
point
there are
of
three
pick and roll
things that
defense
change from year one to year two. One, his lateral quickness gets a little bit better. That's just something that the Heat are good at because Duncan didn't have the best lateral quickness early on, and he still has the worst whistle in the NBA. By God, like defensively, he has the worst whistle. However, he's been able to kind of stay in front of his man. And so I think you let him be out there and let him make the read. Sometimes he makes really intelligent defensive plays. And I'm like, dang, I see the spark, but he's not there yet. And so eventually,
sometimes it just feels like he's doing it by accident, though.
It's just the inconsistency, in particular, of his drop coverage. His drop coverage is fucking. I don't even know what to call it. It's so inconsistent. It's so wild.
Adventure.
I
never know what he's gonna do.
It's like Halloween Horror Nights, bro. It's just like that shit is scary.
Maybe if they do make the playoffs, that's a wild card. Like the other team, you can't scout him. You don't know what the fuck he's gonna do and drop.
He's a jump scare on defense.
You have no clue.
He had a rough first half. Him and Tyler, and I think they solely allowed the 65 points we gave up in that.
Did you see that inbound play where Tyler's guarding the ball and Ware was pressuring somebody way too high? Tyler jumps and it was a give and go for a layup.
You saw Duncan screaming at Ware on a defensive.
Duncan did it a few times.
I saw 3 consecutive pick and rolls where the roadman got a lob or an easy layup, or forced a rotation and then had they had basically 3 shots at the basket because Khalil Ware was out there doing. He needs to go to salsa. Like he's get some better feet, man, because his positioning sometimes it's really bad. So I think they should even extra simplify this, especially when Bam's on the court, like they did with Kevin Love, and it's just like every screen we're blitzing, and just make him impactful on the ball because his drop. I mean, again, not to like fade him or prevent him from growing, but like they need to experiment all of this, because if they do plan on winning, which clearly Spo does after today and after no Terry for 2 days, like that's the biggest step they could have taken. Like that tells me they want to win more than ever. Like that tells me he was fed up with losing. So if they want to do all this, then absolutely, like he should be doing everything. He should have the same freedom defensively that Bam had. Obviously, the results are not going to be anywhere near the same, but you just need to throw shit at the wall and see what sticks with him.
Franky, when we talk about this team winning, whatever, whoever they play, whatever the rotation is, we always got to go back to Tyler and Bam. I thought Bam just played a real solid game. The no rebounds in the first half were just really weird. I felt like the halftime crew was getting on his case. I'm like, it wasn't like there was a bunch of times he should. Well, there was a one that went right through two hands. I blew my mind after a fantastic defense. But I thought he played well. I thought Tyler just played within himself tonight, right? Like I think Tyler moved the ball really well, which we were praising him at the beginning of the year for his decision making, for the way he moved the ball, his passing, and it fell off a little bit, like right after he got his All-Star nod. But it seems to be coming back. Like, talk about those two tonight. Like, what you saw from them?
Yeah, like first off with Bam, like credit, he was questionable to play the game. Spo said that he's playing through a lot of injuries, and he was banged up. And he's still 20-9, started 8 for 9 from the field. Finished, you said, no rebounds in the first half, finished with 9 rebounds. One more, he would have had the double-double record for the Miami Heat over Ron Cycli. But I thought he was great. The energy was great. It wasn't just shot making. A lot of it was shot making, but I looked it up the other day. The first part of the season where he was really struggling, he was getting assisted on 52% of his baskets. From the stretch where the last game Jimmy played, it's been 62%. All his efficiency has jumped up. He's doing a lot less offensively for himself and getting easier looks as a team.
And he's hitting his mid-range shot.
He's getting his comfort spots. He's getting lobs. He's getting catch and shoot, floaters, like the stuff he's good at. And he's not having to find himself within the offense.
Kyle, he's decisive with that shot too now, which I really love. Like, he's not hesitating. It's not like he's not catching the ball and looking to pass immediately. Right. Like, if he's got space, he's letting it fly.
And I think that's something that we've all talked about, and I think Tiff mentioned it also. Just if you're gonna don't swing it too many times. Like, don't give the defense an option to put their hands in there. And we know the refs really don't call fouls for Bam. It takes a lot for him to get a foul call. Take the shot decisively. You know where your range is at. I don't mind the open 3 occasionally. I don't need him taking 15 threes or anything like that. but I do like when he's in rhythm and he takes the shots decisively. The rebounding thing is funny because if you consider the Heat shot 61% in the first half, what rebounds? Which rebounds? There weren't a lot of shots to rebound because
they gave it up on the other end too.
Right. So I think this, and it's funny because with the record, right? Like for all the flack we give him, he's climbing the charts on all these records Heat wise. And he's, by all intents and purposes, had a subpar early part of the season. And even during that, he was climbing up the record board. So that's just a testament to him. And then being banged up and playing, Bam's had seasons where he's been really banged up and we didn't find out till summertime. And he just plays through them. And then Tyler, on the Tyler aspect, I like that he mixed up what he did on offense.
Mm-hmm.
We know he can shoot the three. I'm not mad at him shooting threes, but we don't need him taking 40 footers, fading left. Like, brother, drive to the basket, get creative. You have the ability to do so.
7 free throws, 10 assists.
Added the strength, right, to be able to take contact and drive a little bit more. And that's just the next step. And then this is me nitpicking. The way Duncan moves without the ball is the way Tyler should be moving without the ball. I'm not saying he should Steph Curry, because I've said that's the next step. However, maybe I'm making it too big. Duncan Robinson should be he should be understudying ball movement without the ball, because Dunk gets his shots a lot without the ball.
And the cuts, Tyler could benefit from 3 layups on cuts a game. He's never getting the ball on cuts. I can't remember the last time someone hit Tyler on a cut to the basket. I
can't remember the last time he cut to the basket.
Yeah, exactly.
He's allergic to cuts, maybe.
When he
doesn't cut often.
He only comes up to get the ball off of DH.
When he does run through the lane, it's with his back turned. It's just to create movement.
It's to get to the opposite side of the floor to then receive a pin down to then get
on the baseline, Luke. Down the baseline.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it's not to nitpick on Tyler. It's just it's one of those
things. That's just the style of player he is at this point.
He could benefit from looking and seeing, hey, Dunk gets open. They could run similar sets. Now, granted, I will argue that I think Duncan maybe has more stamina as far as endurance to run all over the floor.
Yeah.
I don't think Tyler is built with that same endurance because, by all intents and purposes, he's a more offensively talented player. Dunk has to get, or at least before, had to get his shots coming off of DHOs, coming off of pick, coming off screens and stuff. So
I think that 1 year Duncan ran the most miles in the league.
Yes. He led the league in miles.
I just think Ray Allen, Reggie Miller.
Also, for the Tyler cutting thing, he cuts 1% of the time.
I'm telling you,
undefeated.
And that 1% is somebody passes him and he wasn't ready.
He's actually pretty good. He's in the 72nd percentile in the scoring efficiency.
He just doesn't do it.
It's just really they're never ready for it.
Think about 1% of the time. That means 1 out of every 100 possessions the Heat have. That motherfucker cuts. He cuts once a game. They don't even have 100 possessions a game.
Chad said he's the anti-Elon. No cuts allowed.
Last thing I want to get to is the offense tonight. 131 points. The Hawks don't have the best defense in the league. Let's be honest. That's why.
Did you see last game?
I know exactly. That's why the last game pissed me. At least let me see a shootout. But I will say, we have to talk about the fact Davion Mitchell turning into James Jones from 3. That is an outlier. Duncan hitting 6 threes, not an outlier, but it ain't gonna happen all the time.
Right.
Haywood being that efficient, the efficiency from 3. I think Tyler was 5 for 5 or something. Was Tyler was really good from 3 too.
Tyler was 4 for 8.
4 for 8.
They were just hitting their shots. But what I will say is whether they were hitting those shots or not, the way they played defense in that second half,
yes, they
would have still won this game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the difference to me. And the way you started that fourth quarter and the approach you took when you bring in guys like Highsmith instead of a slow-mo or instead of an Alec Burks, that focus defensively, anyone can feel this. I feel like they could have won that game no matter how many shots they hit.
They gave up 44 points in the second half.
Yeah,
that's really good.
Their offensive their defensive rating in the first half was 135.4, which was also like their offensive rating. And then in the second half, their defensive rating went down to a 97.8. So I test undefeated, and 147 offensive rating, by the way, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, the thing is, Kyle, I don't want it to be we're hitting our threes, we're going to lock in on defense. Like it can't be like we're having a good game on offense. But like I will say the other night, they still played well defensively. But it can't be these games where like we feel so good about our offense. Hey, let's play defense tonight.
I think to the point, I mean, Frankie, you looked at the stat. The 1% is a microcosm of maybe something else also. Maybe the team doesn't cut enough. Like they could get more baskets off cuts and on nights where threes are not falling, they can get some shots at the and maybe it doesn't always happen because not every shot at the basket is going to be a make. You know, defense is there. But I do think when you're cutting enough, I'm probably ringing an old bell here, but they say when you move the defense from side to side, you get good shots. When you cut, when you have guys moving, you move the defense from side to side, so you get good shots. So I hope that they're able to kind of not take this and go, oh, yeah, we should shoot more threes. And instead maybe be like, hey, we got these threes off of movement because guys moved into spots that were optimal. And I think it's helpful that they had a night like tonight without Nico, who actually is a big proponent of moving into spots or putting guys or getting guys to spots as far as being able to pass to them in spots and where they're going to get best shots. So it was interesting to see them move without the ball. I would like to see this with Nico here because I think he's I think he's second to Duncan as far as passing is concerned. He has some turnovers here and there, but I think it was interesting to see that. And I hope that they're able to connect this defense. Just make it, Alf, you said this a few pods back. Just make it fun to watch.
Yeah.
Just make it fun to watch. Like defensively, that's what you're going to hang your hat on.
Dude, how fun was it watching that lineup that started the fourth quarter?
And today it was honestly some of the most beautiful offense I've seen from them all season in terms of against a team that was actually trying. I don't count that Lakers game. They assisted on all 21 of their baskets in the second half. They had 21 assists in the second half. Every single one of their baskets was assisted on. I think that's a huge credit, not just to Duncan, but to Highsmith. And also to, I thought Davion did a good job. Like, he hasn't been a ball stopper whatsoever at the point guard. He's brought them a lot of what Kyle Lowry used to bring.
Tyler with 10 assists?
Yeah, Tyler with 10 assists. I thought the screening was really well. Like, Bam today was screening his life away.
I saw more elevator screens in this game that I feel like I've seen all season. Like,
and that's something that Highsmith brings you off of the bench that like Kyle doesn't, or like Anderson doesn't, or Burks doesn't. Like, they're just different style of players. I mold him more to like what PJ Tucker used to do for the offense back in the day with some of these hammer screens or these elevator screens, that he just gets people into spots. And him and Duncan have synergy. I know Duncan had a TO on one of the slips, but like
how many switch bus?
Yeah, that was switch busing the whole Hawks defense today.
No, but it was funny watching Haywood and Duncan out there. Like, you could tell the camp. And the thing is, like, when you talk about, what this it feels like sometimes this team just goes away from an identity. When you have a second unit led by guys who understand what this team's identity is supposed to be, you see a consistency out there, right? Like, you go from that first unit to the second unit. That's why the second half to me looked so seamless. Like, it was just constantly a rotation of guys who understood. Like, it's wild when you see Kyle Anderson and Alec Burks in there. They're like, first of all, Alec Burks plays zero defense. None. I mean, like, and if he points at himself one more time and says, "My bad," bro, we all know. We all know whose bad it is. But like, listen, I'm not really trying to bag on those guys because I like them. No. I just don't think where this team is positioned right now that they need to be getting any kind of minutes. Like, yeah, we saw what it looked like with Haywood and Duncan leading that second unit. It was beautiful to see.
And if they do, the leash needs to be short. Like, they should get extended minutes. I don't have an issue with I don't have an issue with Kyle or Alec Burks coming in for like a short stint. That shit doesn't work. Right back off they go. Even with that said, I'd rather Hyman and Pell get that play time. Obviously, Highsmith, that he should have never been out, but it's just They did. They like you said. We fixed Spo.
Yeah.
There you go.
Listen.
It was great today.
This is where he gets his most creative, though, right? Like, and
Oh, of course.
y'all remember those? Remember there was. It was.
I love
funny
how
when-
most creative for Spo is just listening to us.
Yeah.
Well, on Twitter there was the calendar that floats around where it was like October, death. November is like still full from Thanksgiving. December is cold as ice. January you're starting to heat up. February might get some love here. And then March is like March Madness for real. And for whatever reason, we're a couple of days from the 1st of March. And all of a sudden they have 131 points when they could barely get that 2 nights.
They couldn't break 100. Like they've been struggling to
They
score
couldn't
more
break
than 100.
90 last game.
Well, they've been struggling to score 100 points for like the last 2 weeks, ever since Jimmy left, or even a little bit before Jimmy left.
And to the point where people are like, "Oh, I think Spo was watching for Cooper." No, Spo went to watch college ball because he needed some ideas on offense. Like, I just think he gets. No, it's not a
Spo
bash
went for
on
Cooper.
Spo. It's not a bash on Spo, but I think he gets really creative when he sees college ball. I think some of the Heats, like with the big three, he ran a lot of college offense with the big three.
No,
For whatever reason,
what happened is he saw rookies, and he's like, "I hate those." And she's like, "Fuck, like we got to go win." And he was like, "Terry, you're done. Like no more of you." Like he's just like, "No, I'm
You know
not."
what really happened? He saw the University of Miami play basketball. He said, "Shit, we're competing with that for like the worst of the city. Oh man, we got to be better." And better they were, because God knows UM fucking sucks this year. Miami basketball is shambles.
Oh, it's been a bad year. Then yeah, I'll try to find the right side, and no, it's been a rough year. Like, listen, we can hope that this is like some kind of breakthrough. Like Spo keeps saying we need a breakthrough. And sometimes I'm like, shut up. Like, like the last time the last time you said we need a breakthrough after the Atlanta game, I was like, shut the fuck up, man. Like, what are you talking about? We just need to not play like assholes.
You know what it is, Alf? Sometimes he says it, but his eyes don't mean it. Last game, his eyes meant it. Like he's like, I saw something. I was like, oh shit. I was like, fuck, bro.
This season, I'm used to dead eye Spo.
Oh my god,
that man looks tired. I'll say that much.
Man. He's watching the same team we are.
Spo fucking saged the building.
And then he watches this show afterwards and just gets lit up all the time by me. He's sick of it.
Oh, you're not the only one. I mean, you're leading the trail. There are people cooking him on a regular basis. I argued with somebody today why he shouldn't be fired. I just was like, why am I?
One of the first comments today was fire Spo.
Today?
Yeah.
I don't know what people are doing, man. People
I guess you can't make your judgments off of one. The Lebitard read one of my tweets the other day.
Oh, look, it was Christian.
Oh, it was Christian. Levitard read one of my tweets the other day. Didn't give me any credit, motherfucker. I bet he was Mike Ryan. Told him not to say my name. But anyway, he's like, yeah, the whole fan base is getting on Spo. I'm like, yeah, I'm leading the charge. I'm famous. But he didn't say my name, so I got no love off of that. But anyway,
yeah, he'll likely be his most creative through this entire month of March, which is so nuts because.
But you know what? Yeah.
And that's the funny thing is. The funny thing is. What we've been begging for him to do, which is play the young guys, is exactly what he's going to do in March because that's exactly when other young guys are also playing. Like the whole month of March is filled with basketball, and so for whatever reason,
I don't want creative. I just want shit that makes sense. Like I don't need him to reinvent basketball in March. I really don't. I need him to say, "Hey, we have a lead. Let's put some defenders out there." Like
say my name, Mike Ryan.
Exactly, motherfucker. But I don't need him to be a mad scientist. I need him to just like
be a basketball coach.
Yeah, play be smart. Like
it shouldn't have taken him 5 months to realize Terry Rozier was this bad. But he
kept waiting on it to go. He's like,
what's funny?
He was better than this.
You know what's funny? As soon as I saw after the All-Star break, he said, right before he said, I'm gonna have a week to dig in and really fine. I thought it was hilarious. The biggest takeaway was, damn, we should probably not be playing this motherfucker at all. He said 16 minutes, then he said 10, then he said it wasn't enough. 2 DMPs back to back. Like I'm here for it.
He DM'd Franky for some advanced stats, log insights.
You know what I think it was? I think he just went to Mickey Harrison and Pat Riley and said, "Look, man, we can't salvage this shit. Like at this point, y'all want to win for real? I mean, because God, I would have been more impressed if he would have played him 40 minutes. I would have been like, damn, Spo is on my side."
So listen, what you guys have to understand. What you guys got to understand is Spo went to bat to bring Terry in. That's one thing. Like, understand it. And which is probably one of the reasons it pisses me off even more. Like, your hubris is why you keep playing this motherfucker. Like, Spo went to bat for Terry. He's the one who said he can't work with Trae Young. Trae Young wouldn't fit on this team, but Terry does. When they play the same fucking defense, but Trae Young's one of the best offensive talents in the game.
Leading the league in assists.
But you know what the difference is?
According to Eric Reed, he said that shit like 10 times today.
He really did.
You can just see who he doesn't like. I love Eric Reed.
But Terry used to cook Spo. Yep. Spo knows how to cook Trae. That's why he don't want Trae. He's like, oh, he's trash. No, he's not trash. You're just a good coach for some reason when it's Trae Young. But Terry Rozier, for some reason, used to cook your ass. So you're like, yeah, I need that motherfucker.
He's like, I couldn't solve Terry.
Yeah, so let's get him. Let's get him so we don't have to play him anymore.
That's why he plays Alec Burks so damn much.
Yeah, he just bring Kyle Anderson, bringing guys that used to cook you.
Oh my God! And you saw the way he couldn't stop him.
Look at that the slow motion.
You know who's next, right? On the C team, it's gonna be Simone Fontecchio.
Oh,
Spo is fucking licking his chops for that match.
John Blanca's twin right there.
TJ McConnell.
You know what? Tell me Fontecchio doesn't look like fucking John Blanca. Tell me not.
I don't even know what Jablanca looks like.
I don't know what Fontecchio looks like.
When I think Jablanca, I think of a spreadsheet.
That's who cooks us a lot.
If we didn't have to plug shit, that would have been the hard out. Tell me that doesn't look like Jablanca.
I'm taking your word for it.
TJ McConnell goes Michael Jordan against the Heat.
Chad says John doesn't have a face.
No, all I know is his face is a calculator. That's all I got.
We got to plug some stuff here. Tell them about it, Alf.
Oh, the Double Down album release party on Friday. If you're in New York City or anywhere roundabouts, head down there. I'll be there. Tiff will be there. Maybe Ryan Cortez will show up if he's not a coward. Yeah, I said it, Cortez. If he's listening, he's probably not. I'll just send him the clip. But come down. We're going to have a great time. I'm flying up. We're going to get super fucking drunk. So I might not remember meeting you. Just take a picture and then send it to me so I can remember. But yeah.
You said you were buying them shots? First round?
First round on me, if you can catch me. Being that bitch moving like Duncan.
we're also doing picks. Chad says to live stream it. We're also doing a pod tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. And we're doing and make sure you check out Moose's interview on YouTube with the director of Court of Gold, the Netflix documentary that just dropped on USA Basketball.
How did Moose pull that off?
We got connects. His name is Brian Goins.
Oh, well, there you go.
That was horrible. Do it again.
Drip? I can't. I don't know how he gets his voice so high. I'm sorry.
Oh,
drip drop.
I was like that pathetic Duval from the Jackson.
It's not like Mickey Mouse,
so
bro.
bad.
Cut that shit off.
That was so bad. Oh my god. I'm glad there's a clip to forever use that on you. We're gonna be like this.
I'm sorry. We saw you. There is film of what you did.
For shame. He's gonna kick you out of Draft B for that.
Hey.
This is how you do it.
One time with the trip drop.
That was Troppy Baby.
I was going to say, who the fuck was that?
I still shocked that's fucking Troppy Baby.
What a banger.
I thought you were going to stop it right there.
One time with the trip drop.